Hello, folks, entrepreneurs, and like minds. So, today I wanted to talk about artificial intelligence, and it is a topic that excites me, to be quite honest. And it also gets me thinking about what the future outlook will be like as well. Is it something that we should be concerned about or embrace as times change, technology progressively innovates? So, my name is Chiko Matenda. I'm a lifestyle business mentor as well as a digital marketing strategist. So, I always find it helpful to do this mini intro. And I'll also be referring to notes. If I'm looking down, I'm referring to notes because I have I've been doing a bit of research on artificial intelligence. So I'll be referring to notes on my little gadget, my device that's right here next to me. And the first thing that I wanted to start off with is a definition of what artificial intelligence is and what it's all about, just in case if you're not fully aware of it as well. For most of us, we are unknowingly embracing it. Some of us are very astute and aware as to what's going on. For others, it just remains like a scientific notion that is on movies and something that you may not perceive as impacting you directly. The only time that we may experience any anxieties or potential threats is when things are impacting us directly. So let's go on to the definition of what artificial intelligence is, and then I'll also pose a few questions for you to also consider as part of hopefully this dialogue on the article that I'll be sharing on my blog site as well as LinkedIn. What is artificial intelligence, also known as AI for abbreviation? So this is a Wikipedia definition. In computer science, artificial intelligence sometimes is called machine intelligence, is intelligence demonstrated by machines in contrast to the natural intelligence displayed by human beings. So along with that definition, you might think it's related to machines, no impact on me, and it doesn't equate to natural intelligence that human beings have. So on some levels, that's quite accurate as well. So what I believe about AI, just to start off with, I was thinking, just before I jumped on this video, is that a few years ago, there were a few things that I panicked about, which I wouldn't even have connected to as being AI related or robotics related. So things such as online banking, for instance, it's something that I was daunted by, and I thought I will never actually share my information, confidential information online. Who would actually want to do that? Then there was also the transition of newspapers and paperback notebooks, when I started to see people on trains with tablets reading in digital format, and I thought, oh, I'll never let go of paper newspapers or notebooks because I like to have something tangible which I could flip through. So that's what I thought. But ultimately, things have changed over time, where I have in some way subliminally or just had to change with the changing times. And part of it, I believe, has also been that it's easily accessible, and I don't have to, the online banking, I don't have to go to my bank, for instance, to get money out. Being online is efficient when I'm traveling, and also not having to carry so many books or newspapers along the way. And gradually, I've embraced some of these things. So I have yet to embrace new technology such as, and I was laughing about this and actually laughing at my brother and cousin, who were so elated and excited about how one of them has an automatic vacuum cleaner, the other one is considering buying one, and they both have embraced Alexa. And I thought, oh, the first thing that came to mind is you're being lazy. Why would you want something to do something for you? So when I spent the weekend at my cousin's, I ended up communicating with Alexa because I was too tired. Alexa ended up turning off the lights for me, ended up turning on the fan for me, and in the background I was actually excited and happy about this. Okay, so that's food for thought. So maybe in the near future I'll fully embrace this type of technology, but I haven't got to there yet. I haven't got to like the automated vacuum cleaner as well. So the reason why I'm giving you this background is just to consider that there's some things that are coming into our life. They're very subtle, some things that we're not really aware of, or some things we might begrudge and think I'm never going to embrace it, but then there's something that switches off, and then we become like open to the new technologies because it makes our life easier. And some aspects of it we think, why would anybody want to do that, like the automatic vacuum cleaner? And for my brother's reasoning, he's got toddlers and it makes life easier while he's working for something else that is artificial intelligence, a robot to do the cleaning several times through the day, and it's timed. Okay, so it makes sense for some people because things are automated, and it also reduces the mundane tasks as well. So let me refer back to like my notes. Okay, so leading on to jobs, the other things that it made me think about is, will I lose my job as a result of AI and robotics? Okay, so as an entrepreneur as well, it's not only people who are working in full-time or in whatever form of employment. As an entrepreneur, should you also be considering artificial intelligence and how it will potentially or is likely to affect your existing skills as well? Could our skills likely be replaced? And what are the sort of things that we should be fearing or embracing when it comes to artificial intelligence as well? So I was reading a post on HubSpot, an article actually, and some of the things that it said that jobs will be replaced and already being replaced by, some of us have already experienced it. So things such as mundane and repetitive jobs, things that robots can do better than human beings, things that can be programmed into a robot to do, and then also processes and systems that are likely to produce less human error. This is where robotics or AI is taking place. And they gave a list based on this website. Let me find the name of it. If I reflect back, what is it called? And it's a simple question as well. Will robots take my job? So there's a website that you can actually go and refer back to and look at your job and see what the rate and the percentage is of how it's going to be affected in the near future. And I'll give you examples of the jobs that are likely to be replaced as well. So then jobs which will be harder to replace are jobs which include emotional intelligence to some level, such as simple things such as a smile, empathy, as well as leadership, somebody who's in a leadership role and management role, CEOs and chief executives. So I'm just giving examples. The other roles such as computer programming. So things that consist of emotional intelligence where a robot wouldn't be able to think ahead, plan, and also be emotionally connected. But it's not to say that AI will not become like that. I think there's also a small percentage or a medium percentage where AI could adapt emotional intelligence to some level. So should we also keep this in mind as to the scale and pace of how AI could potentially innovate. So could the emotional intelligence bit as well be consumed by AI intelligence, where you might have been in a position where you think my job is safe, but it's no longer safe, such as leadership and management. And I'll give you examples of the jobs which can and cannot be replaced. So other things that can't be replaced are jobs such as like human contact on a customer level, like hospitals, for instance, or care related type of jobs as examples. The ones that have been easily replaced are, for example, when you go into supermarkets, you are welcomed by machines that are automating their payment systems as well. That's been subtle, it's been happening. I was resistant to it to begin with. I wanted an easier process. If the machine wasn't working, I would easily become frustrated and go to a person. But now I prefer to go to a machine, and if a person needs to help me, that's fine, because for me, I believe that it's quicker and sometimes easier, or depending on which language it's in as well. Okay, so these are just examples of the jobs. So let me go to the jobs which this site, and including HubSpot, gave, will my jobs be replaced by robots? So the jobs that that AI can replace, for instance, are telemarketing, bookkeeping clerks, compensations and benefits managers, receptionists, couriers, proofreaders, computer support specialists, market research analysts, advertising people, retail salespeople. These are just examples of the types of jobs that can be replaced. And you can also see a theme to the reason why they could be easily replaced. That some of these jobs is easier to automate and have a process in place where it's data related or computer related, and it does things at a faster rate on behalf of people, and there's less human error. So an example would be compensation and benefits. You've got like a large organization. It's quicker to just have the process automated and pay people on time, every time, on a consistent basis, even though you could have like somebody who's a manager or a team leader who has oversight of that. Then there's jobs such as bookkeeping, for instance, which have been replaced by apps, because it's become easier for people to do like their own bookkeeping via apps, and it's less in some cases to pay a human being to do that job as well. So proofreaders, there's apps out there that also do our proofreading on us. These are just examples. So in my blog post, I give out descriptions from HubSpot as to the reasons why these jobs can easily be replaced. And I'm just giving you brief examples for the moment. You can refer to my blog post as well. So let me know your thoughts too. Then jobs which can't replace, there was a common theme. It was more related to emotional intelligence and was also related to leadership and management, as I mentioned before, because some of these jobs require somebody who has oversight to actually do the review, the analysis, to do the planning, to do the networking and connecting with human beings still, and to be able to project or foresee some of the things that robots can do as well. So for example, human resource managers, you still need somebody to be the mediator or to coordinate certain aspects that have to do with human interaction, for instance, disputes between staff or complaints and such. You still need somebody leading. So I'll just go through quickly some of the examples. Sales managers, marketing managers. I'm in marketing, and I've also done sales. I think in a way we're all doing sales. Public relations, chief executives, event planners, writers, software developers, editors, and graphic designers were just some of the examples. So this site also gives you a percentage of how the industries and which jobs in particular are likely to increase, but also keeping in mind that there's a likelihood that even if there's an increase or higher demand for those jobs, there's still some potential threat or competition, rather than threat, competition with AI, that AI could still take over some of these jobs as well. Each component of the jobs still has some aspect of AI. So the summary here is just to look at, there were some questions that I had to go back to, questions to consider. Could AI make you better at your job and make your life easier? Will AI make us all entrepreneurs? Could you gain more job security or be at risk of losing your job? What should you consider for your current job role and your future job prospects? Will you be able to compensate? Will you be able to compete in terms of jobs to adjust to technology advancements? So it's a similar question like the previous one. These were just some questions that I was thinking about. I know there's about 5 of them. Do let me know which one applies to you and what you believe the future outlook will be. Is it something you believe that you're already embracing and you don't see it as something that is a potential risk to your current skills or your job? Or is it something that you fear could potentially put you at risk of your job as well? Okay, so just to summarize some of my thoughts, and I came through other like Sir Richard Branson and Elon Musk, where Elon Musk thought that the risk of AI was not necessarily related to reducing the mundane tasks that we all do, but it was also related to the threat or the risk is when the other side of AI, and that is the emotional intelligence, when robots adapt similar emotional intelligence as human beings. Could we reach that stage where AI takes over some aspects of how we function as human beings? Obviously, robots could never replace the brain mechanism or the mindset of human beings. That's very difficult scientifically to actually figure out how human beings work, because we're all individual, we're all unique in our own ways. But there's still some aspects where AI could ultimately take over in emotional intelligence. So that's an area where you might also want to figure out, should you be planning ahead to advance and improve your skills? The other risk I also think is that some of us get too excited by artificial intelligence, and this is something that Sir Richard Branson also talked about, and neglect to put human beings first, to look at the human intelligence in terms of crediting ourselves or being credited by others, to know that we've got adequate skills and capability to be able to take on those micro leadership roles if we are not in senior or CEO type positions. So part of it will be the responsibility of organizations to be creative and innovative in enabling their employees or your employees to become micromanagers and entrepreneurs. And prior to that, this is part of my summary as well. Let me go backwards a little bit. Okay, so part of it is going forward is to consider opportunities within AI rather than threats, and also to look at benefits and rewards, because within any change, there's usually opportunities. Even at first, if you may feel like it is a threat, there's potential that there could be grander opportunities where your life could be made much easier and mundane tasks become less and less. Those boring type of jobs, tasks which you get bored by, are automatically being taken over by AI. So could this then give you the springboard to actually become more innovative, develop the entrepreneurship mindset and lead in other ways in a micro way? Whether you embrace it or not, that's something to consider as well. That some of the frontline jobs could become something that are automatically taken over by AI, and there's so many examples. You can always refer to the website that I've mentioned earlier. Then I also believe that AI should be introduced at earlier stages in life, because this is the future. We're now in the future. So for future generations, young children, to consider studying AI at education level, going on into school level, going on into university level, so that young people who graduate have better opportunities and also come out higher in terms of being embracing innovation and entrepreneurship skills. I believe these are skills, that entrepreneurship skills especially, that I could have benefited from as well. So I think this is where AI could actually be fruitful and also give people better opportunities. It's better to plan earlier in advance than later as a response to hitting the panic button as well. Could you actually start then to be doing jobs that you actually love rather than hate? I'll use that strongly. Okay, and the other things that I've also talked about as well, let me just plug in my phone, which is telling me that the battery is running low. And I will be summarizing as well. As you can tell, this is a topic that I am particularly interested in. I've always been interested in innovation, even though some aspects of it have taken me a while to embrace. Okay, so going forward as well is about employers enabling employees to, or let me go through like the workspace environment, making it more futuristic, enabling agile ways of working and remote working, encouraging entrepreneurship in the workplace as well, if you want to remain relevant and innovative and keeping up with the times as well. Also introducing things such as innovative labs, creative labs as well, to give employees the space and the freedom to take on new responsibilities, to think ahead and plan ahead and embrace changing times rather than fear it. A space where employees can also question rather than just accept things as they are, so that they're ready for any significant changes. And for entrepreneurs is to think about what sort of skills do you need to keep introducing and learning from, in order to be able to solve problems that people are facing and to offer innovative solutions. I think this is what will help in terms of AI, because I believe that entrepreneurship, there's some skills that AI still can take away. So that's the emotional intelligence, is the thing about thinking ahead of what the worries and concerns that human beings have, and being able to help them on a one-to-one or one-to-many like events to solve problems and to come up with new ideas, which then could be passed on to AI if they are mundane tasks. And lastly, I'll say that it's essential to keep human beings at the forefront and entrust them with the skills. Even though AI might be something that you see as exciting, I still believe that we as human beings are intelligent, we articulate, and AI wouldn't exist if there weren't any human beings. I'll leave you with this last statement, and I believe it may have been a statement from Sir Richard Branson. Correct me if I'm wrong. AI can't replace the brain and human mind. No, I think this is from another article that I read. This is something that is still something to consider, although Sir Richard Branson did say something similar. The type of AI to keep in mind, and this is what Elon Musk mentioned, was about the intelligence and being articulate. So the being articulate as much as human beings. That's the type of AI to keep in mind as well. I hope that my video has been informative. I would like to know your thoughts, what you have been thinking about AI. I will add more of a summary in my blog post as well. And I look forward to receiving your thoughts, your views, and your feedback as well. Bye for me for now, and thanks for watching.